This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was me having a little bit of fun, just jamming around with various guitars with different styles of pickups, which is very much relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. Because today is Wednesday, which means we're dealing with a viewer's question. So before we get into it, I'll just mention that if you have any questions of a guitar or music related nature and you think I'm the chap to answer them, get in touch. You can use the contact form on my website. You can see the address at the top of the screen there, and link is in the description. You can leave a comment below this or in any of my other videos, or you can use my email address jrguitartuition@gmail.com. One chap who did exactly that is called Roger, but his email name is Chris. I'm not. You'll see. Anyway, I'm going to assume he's called Roger, and this was his question.
Hi John, love your YouTube channel, and I've learned so much from you about guitars, pickups, amps, etc, etc. The list is never ending. My question is about pickups. I think that most people can understand the difference between single coil and humbuckers in terms of tone, but I've never really got to grips about where P90s and mini humbuckers fit into the scheme of things. I've also read quotes from Phil Manzanera and Bill Nelson states that mini humbuckers are effects friendly. Can you enlighten me please? Thanks John, Roger.
So, Roger, or Chris, I'm not sure what the whole deal is with the mini humbuckers being more effects friendly than other sorts of pickups. Possibly, you've got hum cancelling pickups which are less prone to noise but have, more kind of clarity there, and that's somehow better for long chains of effect. I'm not entirely sure. I think what we're seeing there is possibly just the personal preference or preferences of a couple of iconic guitarists, and just when asked, those were their opinions. But to talk about, the kind of tonal differences between single coils, P90s, mini humbuckers, and humbuckers, then, well, here's a little bit of an explanation.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so first up is the single coil pickup. As its name suggests, it is a single coil of wire wrapped around or in close proximity to a magnet of some kind, usually either a ceramic or an alnico magnet, but other materials are available. And the characteristic sound of a single coil pickup is that it's very bright and very kind of spanky sounding. You know, it's got a lot of clarity and cuts through a mix particularly well. So this is a single coil pickup here in the bridge position of this rather nice Paisley guitar. So let's have a listen to what a single coil pickup sounds like. That's a sound that you've heard a million times on various recordings. You get, it works just as well in the bridge position as it does in the neck position, which is what I've just switched to now. Again, another single coil pickup in the neck position. Essentially a more mellow version of the similar kind of sound. So even though it was kind of somewhat warmer sounding, it still had that kind of bright, spanky edge to it. There is, however, one main problem with single coil pickups, and that is that they can be quite noisy. They are very good at not only picking up the electrical output of the strings, or the vibrations of the strings, and turning them into an electrical output, but they're also very good at picking up all the kind of electrical noise generated by electronic devices all around us. So to that end, we now need to take a look at the humbucker pickup, such as the ones in this guitar. What we've got here are basically humbucker pickups. They're immediately recognisable because they're physically bigger than single coil pickups. That's because there are two coils of wire in a humbucker, and essentially they're wrapped in opposite directions, or they're wound in opposite directions, which means that essentially any noise or interference picked up in one coil is very cleverly cancelled out by the opposite signal in the other coil. And because they are bigger, they are listening to a wider spectrum of sounds from the string. Basically, the wider the kind of portion of string that you're listening to, the more meaty and beefy the sound you're going to get, as I shall hopefully now demonstrate. Yeah, it's the humbucker pickup that is, in a sweeping generalisation here, I would say, pretty much the definitive sound of classic rock. And once again, they work just as well in the bridge position as they do in the neck. Let's have a listen to a neck humbucker. So hopefully you could hear there that it's, again, just as with the single coils, it's just a slightly kind of warmer sound from this pickup, version of the sound that you get from this pickup. So that is what a humbucker is all about. But what happens if you want the clarity and the spankiness of the single coil pickup, but you also want the noise reduction, the noise elimination that you get from a humbucker pickup? Well, there's a solution to that, and it's this, a smaller humbucker. Now, there are various different types of, let's say, reduced in size humbuckers. There's the famous kind of Gibson mini humbucker that you get on like a Firebird guitar or something like that, but this is what I've got to hand here. This is basically based on a style of pickup called a hot rails. I can't call it that because that is a proprietary term owned by Seymour Duncan, but essentially it's two coils of wire but closer together. And if you just compare this guitar with this one that we saw earlier, you can see that the humbucker in this guitar takes up roughly the same kind of space as the single coil in this guitar. So you get, because it's a humbucker, a little bit more of a beefy output, a little bit more mid-range kind of cut, as well, but you still maintain a lot of the clarity of the single coil pickup, and you know, it's a humbucker. It bucks the hum. It gets rid of the that kind of electrical interference. Let me just see what kind of sound this is going to deliver for us. So hopefully you could hear that it still had a lot of that kind of clarity and snap and spankiness of the single coil, but you know, you can pile on a load more gain on the amp and not get the kind of hiss and fizz and all of that kind of electrical noise that you tend to associate with single coils. It's always going to be a compromise. You're always going to basically have to sacrifice some of the single coil sound if you want some of the hum cancelling, you know, kind of capability of a humbucker. There is, however, one other style of pickup that I'm going to talk about today, one which is often talked about as being, you know, a pickup that lies halfway between the sound of a humbucker and a single coil. That pickup is the P90. These sometimes referred to as soap bar style pickups, because you can't really see the black pickups on a black guitar. It's not really obvious here, but they do look a little bit like the shape of a bar of soap. P90 pickups are single coil pickups. That's what they are. They are not humbuckers. You will still be, you know, subject to all of the usual kind of interference and electrical noise that you would get from a single coil pickup. But what they do bring along for the ride is that they've got more of the kind of girth and guts and beefiness of a humbucker, but they still maintain that kind of single coil brightness and top end clarity, as hopefully I can now illustrate. So, there are the different types of, well, some of the different types, some of my favourite types of electric guitar pickups. Single coils, humbuckers, miniature or rail style humbuckers, and P90s. And that is what they sound like. And if you want to hear them side by side, go and listen to that jam that I did at the start of the video once again. And basically what I did with that video is I started off with the kind of the brightest sounding pickup, the single coil, and then went to the kind of miniature or smaller, reduced in size humbucker that was in that guitar up there, and then onto the P90s, these, and then onto the full humbuckers at the end. And hopefully you can hear the sound getting kind of progressively fatter and beefier as I go through that jam. So there you go. That's what pickups are all about. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that jam that was at the top of the video. It's in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track for you to play along with yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, and the link is in the description. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to each and every one of you who support me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are linked down below in the description. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative and hopefully entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars and all manner of other stuff. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.